Okay, Paul, step six is the biggest one. And if you'll listen to me, this could change the quality of your life. Step six is the one everybody likes the best. It's about long-term income and long-term savings. Now, there's two elements in play here. Two financial battles you have to win in order to win the money game. Because if you don't win these, now can I be strong with you? The chances of you becoming financially independent may not happen. And if it does, it's way out there. Now, the two battles you have to win are the inflation battle, and you'll see why in a minute, and the tax battle, because it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Taxes will hurt you if you're not careful. So, first is inflation. Have you heard the Rule 72? Okay, I'll explain it to you. It's really interesting. It's also known as the rule of compounding interest, where you take whatever interest rate you're saving at, say 4%, okay? You divide that number into 72, and it tells you how many years it'll take for your money to double. 4 to 72 is 18. So in 18 years, your money will double. Now let's use an example. Let's say $100 and a savings account get 4%. All right, 18 years from now, it doubles to 200. Now another 18 years, 36 years later, it doubles to 400. Now the question is, will $400 buy what $100 buys today? Probably not. Now that's inflation. So if people are saving money, if people are saving money, where are they saving? Well, typically banks, credit unions, fixed accounts, where they're not even getting 4%. So you can see what's happening. Money is growing, but inflation is growing much quicker. They're losing purchasing power. They may never retire. That's a big problem. Now the solution is to get a potentially higher interest rate. Okay, and now let's look at this. Now let's say you could get 6 to 12% interest. Let's use this as an example. Let's say you're 20. We'll go back a couple of years. You're 29 years old, and you put in $10,000 into a fixed account, gaining 4% interest. Now, in 18 years, 47 years old, it doubles to 20,000. Another 18 years, it doubles to 40,000. Now you're 65 years old. You're ready to retire. The house is paid for. The kids are gone, and you've got $40,000 through your name. How long is that going to last you? Well, maybe a year or a little longer if you're really frugal. But then you're out of money, and you're a greeter at Walmart. You've seen him, right? Now, the solution is to obtain a potentially better interest rate. Say you could get 6 to 12%. All right, look at this. At 6%, your money doubles every 12 years. 8%, your money doubles every 9 years. And at 12%, doubles every 6 years. So, at, at age 65, 36 years later, you got $640,000. $640,000. Man, that's a lot of money. You can live comfortably off that for a while. Now look at that, and yet, now, don't you think that's a pretty important principle for you to learn? Yeah, it costs this guy $600,000. And the only difference between this guy and this guy is the interest rate. No more time, no more money. Same amount of time, same amount of money. The difference is the interest rate. Now, you can't win a rate of return battle. Forget about taxes. In fact, I'm going to show you an example that'll shock you on how important it is to employ both the rate of return and inflation battle and the tax battle. Now look at this. Uh, let's say you're 29 years old, let's say 30 years ago, there was a guy that went into the bank. He was 30 years old and he said to the banker, I want to know how much money I have to put away so I can have $1 million when I turn 60 years old. So the banker did his calculations and he came back and he said to the guy, all right, now you have to contribute $1,639.29 a month for 30 years and you'll get your $1 million. Well, the guy was totally disgusted. He walked out of the bank and never saved a dime. Now he's a greeter at Walmart. We've seen him, right? Now, what if we could have taught him the rate of return, the rate of return battle, rate of return and inflation battle, and tax battle? Let's win one at a time. Okay, let's go to rate of return battle first. Let's say we could have gotten 10% instead of 5. Now look at this drawing here. Just by changing the interest rate, that drops that number clear down to $900 a month. Now, granted, not a lot of people can afford $900 a month, but just by changing the interest rate, that's a significant drop. It's $700 less. Now, what if we could have showed them how to put that money away so it can't be taxed while it grows? Now look at this number. It drops that number way down to $439 a month. Now, Paul, a lot of people can afford that, don't you think? Hey, you could do that. You're blowing that, right? Yeah. See, Paul, the key is not about having $10,000. It's about putting away what you can on a monthly basis, getting a decent rate of return, reducing taxes, and avoiding loss of principal. And in fact, in step 6, when we are done, a person knows how and when they will be potentially financially independent. And if we do it right, we can literally shave years off of that potential retirement date. So now, let me ask you this. If you were financially independent, what would you and your wife be doing? What are your goals? What are your dreams? What would you be doing? That's great. Now think about it. You're financially independent. You've got options. And that's the point. You can do what you want, when you want, and how you want. In fact, we were going through the implementation phase with a client. That's the second visit. And the wife got so excited, she stood up and she said, "Oh, I could go door to door to all my neighbors and ask them if they knew when they were going to be financially independent. And you know what? I bet none of them would know, but I do." And Paul, at that time, her and her husband became one because they knew what their goals and dreams were and when they were going to happen. That's powerful stuff. And that's step 6.